Hello and welcome back to another episode of One Kick from Glory. The full gang are back in the house. Got Matthew, we've got Craig, got Malachi behind the cameras.
Happy New Year, guys.
Blessings.
Bro, it's been fun. At the moment, at the time of recording, Arsenal are down to 10 men. Granit Xhaka has went off again, as per usual. If you're an Arsenal fan, you know this is no surprise. And as much as he's been good this year, like the late, great Claude from Arsenal Fan TV said, it's enough, Robbie. It's time to go.
I agree.
But anyway, we'll get on to Granit and other things in a bit. It's a new year. It's exciting. 2022. Talks about optimism, plans for the year. Things really exciting. We got some things coming very soon. We'll talk about a bit later on in the year on another channel, another show, a different show maybe. We'll have to find out. But let's stick to the football. We'll start off with the club that we love to mock and a manager that you guys love to currently be frustrated with by his decision making. Of course, we had Chelsea versus them lot from down the road, also known as Spurs, also known as the Chicken Club, also known as the Spuds, and other words that I won't say on this family-friendly podcast. But for you, Matthew, looking at the game, I guess first off, like with all the Lukaku drama, was it good to just get back to a good game of football without any of the distractions?
Not only was it good to get to a good game of football, it was also after, a frustrating period for Chelsea anyway. Good, as it seems at the moment, to get to some kind of form with winning both the games. Then he winning and the FA Cup game, that's free bar. I know it's non-league opposition, but it's like three back-to-back good performances leading to a very difficult game on the weekend. I'll tell you what's interesting watching the first leg was that Lukaku came back after obviously not playing in the Liverpool game, which was annoying because I truly think we should have won that game somehow. But it was good to see him come back. I tell you one thing though, it wasn't for a lack of trying in that first leg. He really wanted to score. He really wanted to try and make amends to the club, to the manager, and to the fans, and maybe even to himself. Like he tried. He really tried. It didn't come out, and the performance was not particularly great. It was better against Chesterfield, but then again, it's Chesterfield. So yeah, I'm happy these past three games and beating Spurs adds that little bit of kudos on top. I felt comfortable. I never really felt any kind of nerves. I was fairly confident from beforehand that we were going to go for. Granted, during the Christmas period, I was a bit more skeptical, but seeing now, it's like, players starting to come back, even like fringe players are starting to put themselves forward. I'm so happy, very happy. And it's always good to get one over on not only a London rival, but a former manager. So he's starting to realise it's like he's got a much bigger job on his hands than he thought. It wasn't like when he came to Chelsea, because we were tight already when he came to us. This team, the team he has now, aren't even Europa Conference League ready. So he's got some big problems he's got to face up to in the future.
I think you made a good point there about the manager and Conte, and of course the decision to go to Tottenham, which for a lot of us watching from the outside in looked very, very bizarre. And now it looks even more bizarre because it's just like, why did you really go there? For you, Craig, looking at it like objectively, or trying to be objective, like why do you think he made the decision to go to Tottenham?
He must have been promised funds to spend on the squad, because in the summer they had meetings for him to be appointed as a manager. I know from Nuno. I personally felt that at the time. I thought, okay, there must be a reason why he didn't want to. He left Inter. He left Inter because he wanted to spend money and they had to sell their best players. And I think he wanted a new challenge as well. So he said, I'll go to a club that's going to spend money. Like Man United could have got him before they sat Oli.
Should have gotten him, to be fair.
Yeah, should have gotten him. I think it'd have been a better project for him at Man United than at Tottenham, because Man United have got some good young players coming through the system, and all they need is a good manager to take them to the next level. Because they've got a world-class squad. If you look at their squad, they have got world-class players in their squad.
Man United, you're saying?
Yeah, not.
Okay. I just had to clarify that.
No, Man United. They got world-class. Yeah, they have got top-class players. Tottenham, I don't think they're going to win anything this season again. I don't think so, because they still got the FA Cup, but I don't think they're going to win the FA Cup. Let's be realistic now.
I mean,
they still got stronger teams in the FA. They got Liverpool, they got Man City, you got Man United, you got Chelsea, you got Leicester, who won it last year. They look like they could go on another run again.
Yeah, Morecambe didn't give him a scare.
Yeah.
Morecambe game for a long time in that game.
And you got
Maybe
West
too
Ham. West Ham
long,
could be. I think West Ham could be an underdog to win it this year as well. West Ham.
Ham
The way they're
definitely.
going, like they could maybe.
I mean, I heard this thought on another podcast recently, it got me thinking about the bigger picture of Antonio Conte because of, like you said, in the summer, he had the offer to Man United, he spoke with Spurs, turned them down, or it didn't work out.
He turned them
They
down.
went for Nuno,
Yeah.
and now they came back for him. Do you think that there is now a serious question over how he's viewed as a manager? Now, I still think he's one of the best top 10 managers in the world. You could argue top 5, top 6. You could argue it, and you could make a fair account for it based on his trophy records and what he's done at the teams.
Yeah.
But do you feel like I'll jump to you, Matthew. Do you feel like there might be a genuine question mark for clubs at him as whether he's worth the accommodations you have to make to bring him in?
Look at the common denominators. The 3 clubs he's been to previously with Chelsea, Juventus, and Inter. The key thing there, I believe, is that he got some kind of backing. He got backing at Chelsea, he got backing at Inter, he got backing at Juventus. Now, again, I'll go with the Chelsea one because it's the one I know the best. Yes, we had a team the team previously finished 10th, but that team also the previous year finished winning the title. He brought a few more players in, that few. Look, he got back David Luiz, he got Kante, he got Marcos Alonso. So granted, he was given some sort of backing. Same thing with Inter Milan. He got Lukaku. I think he got Lukaku was a big one. He pulled in some other ones like Sanchez, Ericsson. He pulled in quite a few big names.
Moses,
Victor Moses,
Ashley Young.
Granted, not big names, but players who will work and want to know how to win. They're previous winners anyway, and also his time at Juventus. So with him, the common denominator is backing. You have to back this man in order if you want to get the best out of him. That's just how he works. It's like, listen, I need backing. And that is how you absolutely get the best out of him. Now, granted, he came at Tottenham when there was no transfer window, but there is now. So he's now working with Nuno's players. He's probably even working with Jose's players. He's working with players going back to Pochettino. So it's like, I don't think it's so much a reflection on him as a manager. He still make mistakes, and I think he made mistakes against us as well. I know he's got injuries with like the players like Son, and I think Ndombele is having a really bad time of late. Really bad.
Yeah, getting booed off the other day. That wasn't nice at all.
That was not nice to see. So it's like, I don't really think you can blame him too much when he's playing with a team that has no kind of representation of him at all. I'm not saying you got to break the bank, because Daniel Levy does not like to do that. But if you just showed some kind of thing of like, think of someone who you will need, and we see what you can do. He's got January now. He's got January. Let's say if he lasts until the summer, because the Premier League is fickle like that. I mean, they fired Ryan Mason for a cup final last year. So it kind of depends on how they back him. But I don't think, as his stock as a manager, I don't think it really does. I still think I'm like you. I definitely still think he's in the top 10.
And it's interesting you mentioned the players he brought in at those various clubs as well, because I think looking at what those teams have to do when he leaves, you got to shift off a lot of older players that are tailor-made for a specific system, and depending on the new manager you bring in, they may not fit anymore. It does then leave like a lot of baggage, and I think looking at the contract he's got at Spurs, only 18 months, which is really short for a manager.
Not on at all.
Ideal for a player on a short-term deal, like Jack. But not for a coach.
Yeah.
So looking at it that way, he's going to have one more season left in the summer.
Yeah.
This window, will they buy anyone? I don't know. But for you, Craig, how do you think they will support him, and what do you think he will even do this window, and what will he do going forward for Spurs?
I heard on Sky Sports the other day that he had a meeting with his director of football, because they know each other from Juventus and they worked together before, and he had a meeting with Daniel Levy at the players he wants. I feel that they have to sell before they can buy. So they're trying to ship up players like Ndombele, Dele Alli, maybe that right back, what's his name? Doherty. A couple of the deadwood players they don't want. They're trying to, like what Arsenal did with getting rid of deadwood players in the past. But I feel like it's not going to be easy to get rid of them because they're on big wages and their performances haven't proved that they're going to be good at other clubs. And Ndombele was a good player at Lyon, very good player at Lyon. He was linked with Barcelona and Tottenham. I would have gone Barcelona. I'm sorry.
Doherty was good at Wolves.
Doherty was a good player at Wolves, getting assists, scoring goals.
Also, he plays a wing back. and then they put him in the back four.
Yeah,
And he just
and
looks
struggled.
lost.
Yeah,
he's out of position.
Who else have they got? Like maybe I don't know. It's hard to say with Harry Kane. Like, his form is okay now, okay-ish. But would you think to yourself? Would you
let him go?
I think they should just cut the losses.
They should have sold him anyway.
I think
We all know they should
I
have
think
sold
they should
him.
cut the losses and get big money, get as much as they can get for him at his age, and rebuild the squad with that. Because I don't think they got a lot of money, because obviously they built that new stadium that cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Plus COVID happened, so all the money they were expecting from the NFL games and the Premier League games hasn't come in because of COVID for the last 2 years or 2.5, almost 3 years. So now they have to balance the books. I feel they should sell one or two of their players.
It's like what you did when you went to the Emirates, where you moved
Sold our
you
best
moved to the
players
Emirates, and
every summer.
you sold every summers you sold your best players.
And then we had to replace some other players, and it took us a while. We still got top four, but we weren't winning trophies.
But you're playing good football though.
We're playing entertaining football. So
At least, okay, if you're not competing and winning for trophies, at least you're there. You're giving your fans a show. You're giving them something to watch. Even though the players aren't like recognized names, they're still putting in absolute shift, and people will appreciate that. You know, when fans who aren't, those who don't support Arsenal can mock, and I've done the same. But when you look back at it, you have to put some respect on the fact that we got players consistently getting into the top four with players like Bentner, Denilson, Shamak, not big names, but even good ones like hidden gems like Arshavin, Nasri's. You made it work. So they might have to bite their tongue a little bit and, sell their assets, keeping them for no other reason for the fact that they're just assets.
Yeah, but
move on.
Yeah, but if you look at it like this, Harry Kane's going to be 30 soon. In 2 years he's going to be 30, or 1 year he's going to be 30. How much longer can you, like, I remember when Teddy Sheringham, for example, was at Tottenham for a long, long time and they weren't winning anything. And then one day, I think Eric Cantona left Man United. He retired. I think it was 97. He retired. And then Man United were looking for a big name player to sign. So they went for Sheringham. He didn't win anything in his first season, but his second season he won the treble.
Yeah.
And he was at Tottenham for a long, long time. He weighed up his options like, am I going to win something? Should I sign a new big contract to the end of my career? Or should I move on and try to win trophies? He went to Man United, won all the trophies, and he came back. So why can't Harry Kane, if he's ambitious enough, as he says he is, why can't he say, you know what, Tottenham, thank you for everything, but I think it's time for you to move on. Move to a big club like a Man City or whoever who can afford him. Win trophies, and then come back to Tottenham in the future. He can do that. When he's like 30, 35 or something, come back and play another 3 or 4 seasons and whatever. I think certain players like Alan Shearer, for example, I know he won the Premier League at Blackburn, but sometimes you have to be ambitious if you want to win trophies. When your career ends and players remember you, or are they going to remember Harry Kane for scoring all them goals in the North London derby? I thought you're going to want to be remembered for, or are you going to want to be remembered as a player that won loads of trophies? I would rather,
at the highest
if I'm a
level.
player, I'd rather be remembered as a player who won loads of trophies, not a player that, I scored loads of goals against Arsenal or loads of goals against Man United or loads of goals against, what's that?
You want to lay like a
I
legacy.
want people to remember me as a player that won things and inspired the next generation to win things. That's what it's all about.
I mean, yeah. And talking about winning things, of course, like right now we have got to find a way to stop the juggernaut that is Manchester City. They are... I mean, it's a saving grace that they gave up on the Carabao Cup this season. Let someone else have it. But, I mean, just to catch them in the league, I mean, from a financial point of view, obviously, Newcastle have more money than them on paper.
That's crazy.
But we'll talk about how that's all going to work in a bit in terms of like what they've been doing so far. But looking at Manchester City and just in general, like, they just seem like they could comfortably dominate. What do you think it's going to take for a team to be able to stop them consistently? Because even Liverpool's title win, that was when Man City had a poor season. Yeah. So it's almost like it kind of takes the gloss a little bit off what they achieved, just a little bit.
How do we stop them? I think we talked about this before, didn't we? How to stop them. And I said that, it's either a victim of themselves, which fortunately isn't happening right now because they're playing absolutely fantastic at the moment. So that's stuff. How do we...
When Guardiola leaves.
What, come on, that when Liverpool won this. I swear when Liverpool won the league, they was threatening he was gonna go. And like Clive said, now he's lost out on that Carabao Cup that was certified theirs. It's giving them a new focus to go out and dominate in the league. Like, all right, fine, we lost this. Let's go and dominate there, and maybe even the Champions League. I think he's gonna be after that as well.
I think he wants the Champions League.
I think he wants both. I think he wants both.
But I think the Champions League is number one at Jet.
He won
the league so many times. I think Champions League is what he really wants.
He really wants. Don't be wrong, he'll be happy with the league, but he wants to win with the big hoops. But how do we stop them? Well, if we beat them this weekend, we can catch them. Anyone really can catch them. But I'm afraid if they win, I think the title's done. I think
in January.
Do you see how many wins? We are 10 points behind them.
Yeah.
November, this wasn't a thing. We were about six points ahead of them. January now, 2 months later, we're 10 points behind. And it's not even like there's any games in hand. We've drawn like 7 games. We've only drawn like one or two. It's absolutely
bonkers.
It's bonkers. They don't even have any players at AFCON, do they?
Who, Man City?
No, they don't, do they?
No, they don't.
They don't play as we do.
They got Mahrez.
Oh, you got Mahrez.
Mahrez the only player they're missing. They got players like Sterling, Grealish. All them players can play on that position. And Foden can play on the wing. So they got strength in depth.
They're good.
They can put off 3 teams, literally. Even their youth players look good as well.
What are we going to do? It's a difficult one. It's like it's difficult. Unless Pep wants to play some crazy lineup and put Fernandinho as striker or something.
You never know.
But even if they did that, it'll probably still work out and it'll probably still end up like
bloody win. It's such a difficult question because it's like it's almost as if no one. We can always say we can start. Crystal Palace did it. Just like and Tottenham Spurs did it the first game of the season. Maybe if you just like get at them and stop them from doing what they want to do, study their pattern because they're not unbeatable, but it's very hard to beat.
We played well against them the other day.
You did well against them.
We capitulated against them.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I think they also had tiredness as well. I feel like our good performance against them is we did really well, but we also need to caveat it because they had played 1 extra game than us, so they had less rest. They even said themselves they didn't play with the normal level of intensity anyway because they were trying to conserve the energy. So they adjusted their game plan. Yeah. The problem for us is that we didn't get the sucker punch. If we'd gotten the second, then the third, then I don't think they would have come back.
Definitely
but
not.
when we didn't get that second goal, and then everything from that point on was just like
just fell apart.
When you're playing against the best teams, and they give you opportunities to beat them, you beat them.
Yeah, you have to wait for that kind of chink in the armor to be like, as soon as you spot that weakness, it's like when you spot the gap, it's like making the gap there for yourself. If if they're not going to provide it, you have to make it, and it takes a special kind of like manager or a player to think just kind of outside the box to kind of spot that moment and absolutely just take advantage of it. Unfortunately, City don't do that very often, so we'll know after Saturday what happens.
Who they got Saturday?
What they got us?
Oh wow!
Man City Saturday.
At the bridge?
At the Etihad.
Oh wow!
Is it early kickoff?
First game of the weekend, 12:30.
Early kickoff, yeah. You're watching it, yeah?
On my phone.
From like this. I'm watching it like this from 90 from 001.
Have faith in the team, man. I think Lukaku might do a number on them defenders still.
So might Kepa. You never know. No, I have faith. I
forgot. Oh, Mendy's in Africa.
But Kepa played really well the other day.
You know, give him credit where credit's due. Yesterday and even last week, he was fantastic. There's always been a good keeper in there with him. I just don't want to hit him mentally, and I think he lost it for a bit. But there's always been a good keeper there. So
I think he's a very good cup keeper. He does well in the cup games.
He's a good cup keeper. He's good at penalties, and generally he's a good shot stopper.
Everything else.
It's shots, the long shots, decision makings,
his calmness on the ball,
and the corners. Sometimes when you want to catch it, he goes to punch it, or like I don't know, Hadouken it or something. But just catch the ball.
If I was a manager, I'd target him on set pieces. Like, just put the ball on right under the crossbar and make him have to try and catch it. But
that's a good thing for City because they don't have that many players good on set pieces, apart from maybe some of their defenders.
Diaz and the other
Diaz and
Laporte, yeah.
Get a header
and
in.
John Stones.
Yeah, as long as them three ain't there, it'll be fine. One of those I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's asking a lot. But
he's asking a lot. I think at this rate, just saying because of the literally steamrolling, I would like the win, and I think we can get the win. But if it came down to a 0-0 ball draw, it's one of the things we get. I might have to take it on the chin. But I genuinely do think if we lose, it just gets a little bit more harder, a little bit more impossible because we still got some tough games coming up anyway.
I mean that's very true, and I think ultimately like all the big teams have to level up. We will have our like the projects are all interesting across the league. Look at Liverpool, what they've got attacking wise, defensively, they got it there. Middle of the park they need to kind of refresh a little bit there.
Yeah.
Man United just need everything sorted. They just need, like I said, the BBL team. no, that's why I called PSG or Man United. I can't even call them a B. They're just like, I don't even know what I describe them as.
They're just there. They're just there.
They're just the Instagram model. Man City's now an Instagram model with bare filters and no substance.
That was their FA Cup game on Monday in a nutshell.
Wouldn't take home to your nan.
Nah, absolutely not.
No chance.
One goal.
Sunday dinner? Nah. Wouldn't last 5 minutes.
Nah, mate.
Nothing there. Yeah, I mean,
Boring.
so I think that there's opportunity for the other teams to try and level up with smart signings like we did in the summer. And like what you guys do, just invest the money you have and get in those proven players to kind of close the gap. And hopefully we'll see, if not this season, then maybe next year we can kind of chink because I think having the big gap so early already it's not a good look.
It just reminds me of like early 90s when Man United were just running away with the league. By Christmas, by March, the league was already done. Like,
it makes it like
but that was by March. We were in January. We're saying the league's gonna be done by the weekend.
We got 4 months, 4.5 months till the season ends. But it's like that.
But the thing is, like, I personally feel like Liverpool kind of messed up, like, because they didn't invest heavily in their squad. They got an Asian team now.
They got one player.
Van Dijk is 30. Mane's 31 or 30. Salah's 30.
He's gonna be 30 this year.
Who else?
I think that's a good point about Liverpool because when you look at it, even the signings they've made, they've all come off the back of massive sales. Coutinho helped fund, Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it and think, have they really spent money when you really think about it? I feel like it's just been in and out.
It's in that balance.
It's like when you go to computer exchange and you exchange a game for cash or for voucher.
It's better than that because they're exchanging duds and getting quality stars. So
but the team is it's Asian team. I like Liverpool, but they're Asian team.
It's like they got a little bit of time left. I think they got.
I feel that good managers know when to refresh their teams, isn't it? And I think Liverpool needs to refresh their team. I don't think it's
down to the manager though. If the owners won't get the money, what can they do?
Yeah,
it's like you go to the club, you dressed up in all your best and but there has to be some reciprocal communication because you can put in all the effort you want to see someone you like them, you try to move to them or talk to them, whatever. They still have to accept your approach.
I feel the only way teams can catch up with Man City is that in the summer. If I know Man City are going to win the league, they're going to win it.
Well, they could capitulate.
Yeah, they could,
but
it's very unlikely.
It's very unlikely. But I feel what they need to, other teams need to do in the summer is make sure you have two good squads. You have a good starting 11 and you got a good a good 18 or 20 man squad or 22 man squad or 25 man squad where all the players are challenging each other to get in position. Like if say for example like Liverpool, say if Van Dijk's injured, someone else can replace him. Or left back, Robertson's injured, someone can replace him.
Yeah, Shimmikas is an amazing signing.
Wicked player.
If Trent's injured, you have someone because no one can.
They ain't got a replacement for Trent.
They haven't got a replacement for Trent.
They can play Milner out there.
But it's not as effective.
But they can play. It won't be fake. They can play Milner anyway. He's one of those players. You can play him anyway.
Like up front, if say Firmino's injured or Jota's injured, they haven't got really a good replacement. Origi's a good striker, coming off the bench.
But he's not a starter.
Not a starter.
I think he's got it in him.
But he got a contract in the season as well.
It's just like he's got a contract. Yeah.
What's another? Newcastle should be
Newcastle.
That's a guy right there.
Instead of Chris Wood, I would have gone for him.
But let's talk about Newcastle. So we made lots of predictions and suggestions to players they could get, and there's still time.
Yeah.
Eddie Nketiah is still available.
Take him.
Mohamed El Neni is still available.
Take him.
Rob Holding with his new trim, new hairline, he's still available.
Take him.
I did say.
Chelsea have a few deadwood. They're still there.
We do.
But they've started off. They've got Chris Wood. They got Kieran Trippier first. They got Chris Wood.
Yeah.
Slavia Matthew. When you look at those deals, what does that say to you from a strategy perspective? And what do you think about it from a mid-term perspective? And by mid-term, I mean like 2 seasons, 2 years.
We talked about this earlier, and beforehand, I was like looking and thinking, like, come on, guys, like you could do maybe a little bit better than that. But when you think about it, the position that they are, they're 19th. They're only a couple or so points away from the relegation zone, but they all know how tight it is down there and how hard it is to get out of there. So by doing what they've done, they've actually been quite savvy. In a way, they've gone for like players that. It's like it's in the back of their minds. They don't want to maybe think about it, but it's like you got to prepare for it. Like we could still get relegated. So even with the players that we have, the player that we've had players that play in the Championship before, and some of them are still here. Chris Wood would do wonders. You'd think a Premier League proven striker would do wonders in the Championship. It'll be bounced back. They'll go down, come back up again.
That's a good point.
So in a short for between now and the end of the season is a good prospect. And even getting someone in like an international like Trippier who's gone to Spain and had a great year winning La Liga last year. That's a very kind of good move as well. Plus he's going to start. He's going to start. Let's be brutally honest.
Yep.
Great delivery, set pieces, free kicks, covered on that one. For a mid-term, 2 years time, I don't see him there. But it depends on where they are. If we're saying that they're punching a bit higher than say even mid-ish table, it's higher mid, lower mid. I'm gonna say if they're going for the brinks of the higher mid, I'm talking like ninths and eighths. He's not going to be there because he's going to be 32, 33 at the time, and they're going to want to get someone a little bit more exciting to kind of complement like the St. Maximans if he's still there at the time, depending on where they are. It's not a risk of them doing it. They broke his clause that I don't even know existed. And as baffling as it sounds, 25 million is not a lot these days.
Yeah, it isn't. I think the key thing is that they need goals. Chris Wood can score goals. He's not very prolific.
No.
So, and the question you got to ask is then, because how I look at it is that Burnley don't create a lot of chances volume-wise. But when they create chances, they're quality chances.
Yeah.
Because Dwight McNeil from the left,
Cornet.
he can ping across in.
Cornet.
And if Cornet is coming and doing the madness and scoring goals for fun. So when they make chances, and of course they got like Taylor on left back, they've got players that will put the ball in really well.
What's his name?
Goodmanson, you can drop them in.
Rodriguez.
I think Jerry Rodriguez, I just don't know what happened to him. I expected more from him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good player.
But I think there's an opportunity now for him to kind of establish himself as one of the top Premier League strikers. I think, did he get 50 goals recently? I know he crossed the
Yes, he
milestone of
did.
goals.
He did. Yeah. He did.
So that's something which he might look at this and say, you know what? I'm going to Newcastle. A lot of people would have said, probably looking at it skeptically, thinking, you know what? We won a better striker. We've got him. I've got 50 goals in Premier League. My contract is going to be, I don't know how long his contract is, but let's say it's a 3-year deal. So I have a potential to get 10 to 15 goals a season alongside Wilson.
Wilson.
I can try, if I push really hard at Newcastle, I could probably try and get to the 100 club. If I was him, my target would be like, I'm going to be at Newcastle, I'm going to get to the 100 club. And I'm going to try and rival the likes of Kane and these guys goals wise.
That's not out of the realm.
That would be the mentality I would have.
It's not out of the realm of the impossible. And also, if you look like what I think they might have done, because I talked about this with someone I actually know a Newcastle fan them for where I work, and it's like you look at the games they got coming up. It's almost as if they've eliminated the games because they've got Watford next, which is a winnable game. But they've also eliminated certain other games that they might think, we might not get it here. Because let's be real, they're probably going to lose a couple along the way. But it's almost as if they're looking at the ones that they can win and probably will win along the way.
Yeah.
So if you dig deep, I don't know how far they thought about it, but if they have, they've been very clever about it. Very, very clever.
What are you going to say?
I feel that Chris Wood has always scored goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I just say he's not a prolific guy. But I feel because he has had good service. And he had to play in a great team. If you put him into another, like a bigger club, maybe he'll score more goals. I mean, chances created. Yeah, he's good. He's good in the air. He's very good in the air. He's very good with his feet. He scored goals in Championship. He scored goals for Leeds in the Championship. He scored goals for Leicester I think it was came from Leicester. I think Leicester they went to Leeds. Or was it West Brom? It's one of them clubs he was at before he went to Leeds. Then he went to Burnley. So I think he'll do well at Newcastle.
I think it's a massive opportunity for him.
Big
and I also think for Newcastle, obviously, this has gone against our expectations. But then again, you look at the results they've had from the takeover from Eddie Howe getting established till now. Maybe for them as well, it's like, okay, our plans, we're going to have to scale it back a little bit. And let's just survive.
Let's survive.
And because, I mean, they're back in Howe. I think Eddie Howe, I mean, they play much better football.
Much better.
Like, looking at Joel Linton, who would have seen him as a box-to-box midfielder? If only he could get the goals to back it. Because to me, he looks a lot like a much more robust like if you can get that goal scoring touch, they've got their own Ramsey.
Yeah.
But way more robust because he's much better two-way. Because Ramsey did a good job back and forth, but defensively, he did okay. But like Joe Linton's putting in tackles.
No, Joe Linton's playing well this season.
That man, you see the Man United game, he playing in that.
Yeah.
He was on job.
Him and St. Maximin were balling out.
Absolutely
And
on
the
job.
commentator was saying to Scott Longstaff,
yeah.
said, I never knew you could play so well. And then that kind of put him off. Like, sometimes no, he's a very good player in training. Was backing him, so he's very good in training. Don't talk about my player like that. So it's good to see
there's a good player. So clearly there must have always been a good player in there. It just the direction maybe under Bruce
and also position because he played up front. Then they played him on the wing.
Then playing centre mid.
Now he's in as well as
he's
three.
number 8. He's
so
like number 8.
Yeah, he's an 8.
Got freedom.
Yeah.
And I think the way how he's playing it's just so nice to see, and it's refreshing to see a player reinvent themselves and just try and reach another level. So I mean, for Newcastle, I think that they're going about it right. They still need to get the defense sorted out. They were looking at Luca Dean at left back. They didn't get there. He's gone to Villa. He's gone there for Gerrard, which I don't know how well that's going to go down with the Everton fans. That's a bit of a weird one, but
he got frozen up. Benitez didn't play him anymore.
That's true.
So that's going to be interesting. And I think centre back they need to sort out. Central midfield, I think they need something more in there.
Yeah,
just something a bit different.
And I think Joe Willock needs to step his game up now. It's been a long time now, for a while now. He needs to up his game.
Let's be honest. When he went there on loan, and he scored all those goals because he went there from January and he was there. It was never it was never a class thing. It was always a pebble patch of form because all the goals he was getting. He was arriving late in the box. The ball broke to him, and he did the hard work of making the runs, and then he got the fortune of the ball being free. But he had the technique to put it away. So it was never going to be sustainable. The problem is the issue we had with him in our team is that his game is limited, and the problem now is you can't be a one-dimensional player in that way so much in the league. Man United with Bruno, they're seeing that. Mr. I modeled my game with Iniesta. Which Iniesta? You mean Iniesta from the Nike advert? Because there's no way Andres Iniesta is the guy you model your game on. No way. Maybe Iniesta the postman. you just get it and shoot. Get it and shoot. Get it and shoot. It's not Iniesta. So the players that are like lacking the refinement, their place in the game is slowly being phased out, but it is being phased out for more rounded or technically proficient players at a higher level. So I think for Willock, he needs to work on his all-round game. He needs to be a lot better at the nitty-gritty stuff. He's good at dribbling. He's good at running up off the ball.
But he's not good at a scrap. He's not a scrapper.
He needs to get the scrap, and he needs to be able to, when the going gets tough, just simplify your game, do the basics really well.
Well, maybe
I think you should learn from John Selvi. He can scrap.
I think you should learn from Joe Linton because looking at
now
if they both play the same way in that team, that's exciting.
Yeah,
that's two box of 2-8s and they have someone sitting.
I mean,
come on.
Imagine being part of a revolution. Imagine as a young player, coming in as part of a new revolution. Should they survive, and the prospects that they have, it must be quite exciting now because he's 20. Joe Willock. How old is he again?
21 now, wasn't he?
I mean,
21, 22.
He's fresh in there, and you got players like Things just come in, Woods just come in. They've got potential to get more in as well. And again, I'll say this again: if they survive, to go and push forward and go and get bigger and better. What a great time!
And I think
to be part of such a massive prospect.
Yeah, and the thing as well, like with Joe Willock, he's got Europa League experience. He's played
in Europe.
He's played against like international footballers, like who play international football. So
and he's been to the finals of them as well.
Yeah,
I think the big thing for Newcastle now, and this is like the harsh reality of it, is that Watford are on 13 points in 17th. Burnley and Newcastle both have 11 points. Norwich have 10. Norwich could still technically survive.
Technically, yeah.
It would be a hope and a prayer they could. But Newcastle, because above them, Leeds are on 19.
Oh,
that gap is not good.
Massive. Yeah.
Now Newcastle they don't have it. Burnley have 2 games in hand, so they could lead the bottom 3 anytime whenever they're ready. But Newcastle, realistically, they need to start getting on a run of wins.
100%.
Because if Watford start to pull away,
problems.
If Watford get to 17 points and Newcastle are still on 11 points, that's a problem. That's a really. I wouldn't say it's over. But that's a massive problem. Leeds are the one where I feel like Leeds could pull away. But I do think
it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's looking like either Watford or I think Watford,
Burnley, Newcastle, or who else?
Yeah, because above that you got Leeds, Everton, and Everton both on 19 points, and then Villa on 22. So yeah, I think Watford is the one.
Brentford in the league? Are they in the top half, bottom half?
Brentford bottom half, they're on 23, 13th place.
I think they'll be all right.
They'll be fine. I think Brentford are gonna be fine.
But it depends. If Newcastle go on a run of 3 games, 3 wins, that 9 points, that will get them to 20 points. Depending on other results, they could be either 15th, they could be 17th, it could be they could be looking up.
Really up.
And spitting down,
Do you think Leeds have got enough in their squad to survive though?
Leeds fans will keep them up.
Yeah.
Because their home games will be, I think, will be enough to keep
count
them.
on
Their
this.
form is really horrendous, but they won their last game, and they lost 3 in a row. They won the last game, so their form, their fans will help.
Ellen Road will be a big part in where they. I will just say this though. Newcastle's last game. Do you know who it is?
Leeds.
Burnley.
Ooh.
At Turf Moor.
Imagine Chris Wood scoring a winner against his former club to relegate his
Sean
former club.
Dyche is going to be absolutely reeling for that game, because if they took Hendricks from them, they've taken Wood from them. Who else? That's why they're taking someone else from Burnley.
Hendricks was on a free transfer though.
That was a free, and then there's this one, which was a massive inconvenience because it's a release clause I think no one really knew about until they found it.
Well, Trippier and Wood are represented by the same agency, and that's how they found out. Which is interesting because they bought one player and they probably asked him who else you represent. Oh, we represent Chris Wood. Oh, okay, yeah, striker.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's got a release. Oh, really? Yeah. That's how much? 25.
Done.
I thought Newcastle are
down.
building for this season, and they're building like if they get relegated, they have like that insurance policy where if it doesn't go right, they got players who can play in the championship for next season.
Let's be real, if they get relegated, they're coming back.
Yeah, they're definitely coming
back. The key thing is going to be like the rest of their signings, because I think they might do a 3 and 2, 3 for now, 2 for the future.
True.
And it's all because looking at the names they've been listed with, they're looking at some very exciting young players in Europe, and I'm like, So they are looking at it at the mixture of, we're not just thinking about the now, we're thinking about Newcastle in 3 years' time. The Newcastle in Europe, the Newcastle that's challenging
for the Premier
for trophies.
Damn,
I'm not gonna say the league, for trophies.
Trophies.
Arsenal to fix up then.
I mean, I'll say this: Newcastle, the best thing they could do next season would be to win, if they stay up, win the League Cup.
Yeah.
That's a start.
That would be amazing.
And getting to Europe, because I won a trophy in a long, long time.
But you don't you think I think the potential for, the last club in England to kind of do this kind of big money but thing was Manchester City. But could you imagine a club with the history they have, the reputation they have, the fan base that they have? Can you imagine Newcastle doing this? If all goes well for them and they strike gold, they have that Midas touch everywhere they go. With a place like Newcastle in general, we've got problems. Never mind Arsenal fixing them up. The rest of the league could have the potential to fix up as well. Granted, this is probably a 5, maybe even a 10-year plan. But Newcastle could become a dynasty.
But do you remember in the 90s? Remember in the 90s when Newcastle was the they were doing well?
They were there. They were there.
I think there was just like 1 or 2 kick that game that cost them. I think that cost them the league that season was that Liverpool game, and there was another game they lost again. I think it was Leeds. The loss was a team.
That's when they were fierce.
When they had Kevin Keegan. When Kevin Keegan was manager. That Gino reminds me of Maximum. This exciting player. Get the ball. Take on man, cross the ball, score spectacular goals,
and taken in by the City. Taken in like
Newcastle always had good strikers. Like Alan Shearer, you had Aspria, you had Ferdinand, Andy Cole,
Martins.
You had Bardsley.
Yeah.
Bardsley, yeah.
And who else they had? The other guy.
That's someone else. That's where they had someone else. Cisse.
Yeah,
Demba Ba. They had that one season. They had
the other guy as well. They had Rob Lee centre mid, David Batty at one stage.
Shay Given.
They
had some ballers, man.
They had Warren Barton. Who's that right back? Left. Philip Albert. He scored that chip against Schmeichel. Babiaro. They had some good ballers.
They had some ballers, man.
And I think sometimes football's like a cycle, isn't it? You go for a time when you do well, then you struggle for a little bit, and you come back. I think their time is back now. They're coming back again.
Yeah, man. The Ashley era is well and truly done.
It's going to be interesting. All right, last point then. Talk on the topic of transfers. Because I think there's a lot of teams that have a lot of business to do. West Ham probably needs to bring in someone. Because right now they're top 4, but,
only until
they know they're keeping that spot warm. Yeah. The Reds, you know what I'm saying? Like, not even going to mess around here. That's ours. But looking at the top and the bottom, because a lot of clubs need to do some business I think, to really kind of get where they want to get to. Man United need to sort themselves out, but we'll put them to one side. Tottenham needs to buy some people. Arsenal need to sort out this midfield and up front. We need to get enough bodies in. West Ham probably could do with one or two just to kind of keep them where they are. And at the bottom half, of course, Newcastle, Burnley. Well, now they've got money then should buy. Watford possibly, and then Norwich City. If they really want to get somewhere, they could. Who do you think's going to have the best window in terms of like signings? Because it's hard to say right now because it's still early in it. But looking at it, like I think Arsenal have a massive opportunity with if we can get right central midfielder in, especially now off the back of Xhaka's stupid red card from the game that's currently happening as of recording. Like we need to get someone before 12 o'clock tomorrow. Right? Otherwise on Sunday against Tottenham, it's going to be Callum Chambers in midfield. With Sambi Lokonga.
Oh yeah, I just realised AFCON because he got women players out.
Yeah. So it could be a bit of a mess against them, and we ain't, So I think like, and of course Newcastle, they've started their business and they're looking like they need to get a few bodies in there. I'll start with you, Craig. So you mentioned last time. Who do you think, on the balance of things, will have the better window?
I think it's between Aston Villa and Newcastle. Aston Villa made
they got Coutinho.
Aston Villa made some great signings like Coutinho.
I don't know if he's a great signing.
And Dean, look at Dean.
Or proven Premier League player, scored goals in Premier League before.
Yeah,
we'll see what Coutinho.
We'll see which Coutinho turns up. Yeah, there, right.
And you got Luca Dean, proven Premier. He's very good at assists. And they got Danny Ings, a striker who lacks the ball in the box. Getting what's
no, but I'm just talking about from January, not from the summer time.
I'll say Newcastle and Aston Villa have done a good window so far. Chris Wood is a proven striker, scored goals in the Premier League. You got Kieran Trippier, won the league last season with Atletico, did well at Tottenham.
England. Well, in the Euros as well with England.
Did well with Euros in England.
And the World Cup.
Has never let England down. He's a good right back. So I'll say if they get maybe 2 or 3 more players, as you said, that could be a good window for them.
For you, Matthew, who would you say could be like? Because I mean, there's probably even a club out there that we haven't even considered that could do like a surprise sleeper signing, and then that player comes in and then it just changes how their team plays.
I'm looking. Well, I can't say looking further down the table. That's why Newcastle actually are technically so Aston Villa. I think of a club that kind of needs players ASAP. That need who could have a good window. It's always one of those relegation teams that they go out and just buy and loan everyone out. I think.
Because me personally, I think depending on what they do money wise, I think Southampton could surprise everyone.
I was just about to say the same thing.
They're a little sleeper cell club.
They're like the time the Doctor Who of football because they started off with because they the ones had Van Dijk, they're the ones had Wanyama, they had Mane, they had Lambert, they had Lallana, they had basically whoever Liverpool had.
Baller FC they had
Walcott, Chambers, Bale.
Oh yeah, Bale.
I mean, they had some ballers, but yeah, they could do. They always just find this knack of finding a mid-bottom half table finish that could stay up. But I was thinking, not just Southampton, but for some odd reason, I'm just thinking of Watford.
Yeah.
Because they've got a lot of African players out at AFCON right now.
Although they managed to keep the boy
Emmanuel Dennis.
Dennis, which is going to be
he's a baller, you know.
Yeah.
Massive keeping him in.
Dodge how they got him to stay, but let's just leave that.
Massive keeping him. I think they might, but I mean, it's Aston Villa aren't. I'm going with Craig.
But do you honestly think that Ranieri is going to last long though? Because they sack their managers like people drink water, man. They're just, every minute they're sacking their managers.
But you know what? With Ranieri, it's the romanticism of he could win us the league title.
That's always going to stay there. He won't. He won't. But he can probably keep you up.
Yeah, but the thing with look how much managers Watford had over the last couple of years. They had loads of managers.
So many managers.
Every season they change their manager. Like it's ridiculous. Like.
If they did get rid of him, who would he, I mean, I can't even remember who they had before. But if they did get rid of him,
I think they had one guy called, what was his name again?
Fonseca? No, it was never
funny
there.
name. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember who the last man.
I know it was Spanish.
Their turnover is mad, man. Marco Silva is the one that sticks in my head. I don't know why it didn't work out.
Marco Silva.
Watford.
Yeah.
He left. He wanted to go to Everton.
He went to Everton. He was at Hull. Didn't work out there.
He's just
where is he now? Fulham, isn't he?
I think it might be. He's in the Championship.
That Fulham.
He's in the Championship.
He's a good manager.
Right,
shouldn't have left.
Lampard could go there.
I think they'll get promoted this season. Still, Fulham.
Fulham.
They won 6-0 yesterday.
So 7-0, mate.
7-0.
7-0.
They'll go up.
Well, if they do come back, stay this time.
Yeah,
But they have to recruit better though.
Yeah.
God, it's
They can't really
But
recruitment last time was
if
poor.
they're gonna do the same as normal,
Yeah.
just leave it. Let's have QPR instead. Like let's have someone new.
Yeah,
No,
QPR will invest.
QPR might go up as well.
They need to come up.
They need to
Then for
need to.
financial reasons, they need to come up.
complete the set of West
Yeah.
London. Complete the set.
Brentford, QPR fight. They're big rivals, aren't they? Brentford, QPR.
Brentford, QPR.
This is
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Imagine that. Oh my.
This is what we need in an
days.
ideal
Yeah.
world. Fulham and QPR come up 1-2, 2-1, irrespective. They got to get automatic promotion. Whoever gets to the playoff spot, fine. But imagine having a set of Chelsea, Fulham, Brentford, and QPR. Can you imagine the set?
Yeah.
Game
Imagine
set match.
It's right. All the stadiums around the corner from each other. Literally in that surrounding area.
With, with a couple of tube lines here and there. Oh, complete the set, mate. Complete the set. Yeah, I was talking about. Yeah, I think Southampton could have a good window. I can see Watford having some kind of good window. But as for Newcastle and as for I think even Villa, it's not over.
Do you know at Southampton, you got one of your players on loan. He is good, you know.
Good player.
Like, what's it? Borja?
Borja, yeah.
Borja, yeah.
He scored a good goal the other day.
Good
He looks
player, man.
decent. Like he's got like he looks like he could be a fan of the season. Like.
That's Chelsea, man. That's Chelsea.
But I think Southampton want to sign him on a permanent though. They want to try buy him this window because a lot of clubs are interested in him. So
That's Chelsea.
if I was Chelsea, I'll sell him. You know, you can get somebody else. You got Lukaku. You don't really need him anyway. He's not going to play when he comes to
Probably
Chelsea.
not. I'm looking at Gallagher, mate. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him.
Crystal Palace signed Gallagher. Crystal Palace signed Gallagher.
Yeah,
To be fair, I think I would like to see that. I mean, Palace. I mean, look at the game they had against Millwall, the nonsense. But
wow.
look, Mikel Olise,
That boy, yeah.
telling you, Olise and Eze, couple years, come carpet.
That is the
And,
Arsenal.
like, it's ready for you. We're ready for you.
When he was a young player.
Red
yeah,
and white
Arsenal.
suits you guys real good.
When Tottenham was in for Eze, when Tottenham looking at Eze as well.
You don't want to go there. You're a winner. Unlike some people in that team, the one who doesn't like to pass the ball and the one who loves to dive, they know exactly who they are. You're actually a winner. So don't go there.
Now, credit to that boy. Was it Olise against Millwall giving
That
it?
free kick was disgusting.
That and not even that, just going to Millwall, but then and the fans giving it,
Stuff him.
and
It's like, come on.
giving it back,
It's like,
giving
come on.
giving it back, man. You gotta have some cojones.
When they buy Elise from Reading, right?
I think
Reading, yeah. Free transfer, wasn't it?
No, they paid for him. I don't think they paid a lot. Like it was a kind of
Wasn't it out of contract? No.
no, they
No,
bought
they
him.
bought him out because I think for some. I mean, also they want don't they want Nketiah as well?
8 million.
Palace?
8 million. That's a bargain.
8 million, blew me.
For the players
At the time, I was like, Arsenal, just do it, just
What,
chuck it, just get him, just buy him, and then just figure it out afterwards. Just get him.
Yeah.
But no,
You know what's happening if Nketiah goes to Palace? You start playing
I
well.
love Eze. I remember that goal he scored against who did he score against? Sheffield United last season when he ran from the halfway line, dribble past bare players, and passed it into the goal. He didn't even hit it; he just passed it in the goal.
Another QPR,
Caressed it.
Another QPR prospect.
But QPR got some good players. You know?
QPR,
Over the years,
bit of a talent foundry.
QPR got some decent young. Yeah.
One for the future for sure.
we're gonna see how things go. But on that note, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks guys as usual. We're gonna have some fun. Our next episode, spice it up a little bit. We're gonna have a throwback episode. We're gonna talk about one of our favorite games from a past Premier League season. And we're going to review it as if it happened today. But until then, if you're listening on Spotify and iTunes or Apple Podcasts, it's now called, rate it 5 stars, leave us a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Have a good rest of the day. And remember, don't be like Kane. Be a winner. Bye, everyone.
Peace. Safe.